Bob, there's a big question at the moment. Is John Howard being sincere about the threat of terrorism? Or is he just being a bit of a boogeyman, putting a fear out there so he can pass draconian laws? Now, we have a man who claims he's going to be able to test whether John Howard is telling the truth or not by recording his speeches and playing them backwards. He's David Oates. Thanks for joining us, the founder of an organisation called Reverse Speech.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, how does this reverse speech work?
Well, the basic theory is that language is bi-level, forwards as well as backwards. As all of us are speaking, we are creating the sounds of our speech in such a way that we're saying two things.
And so if we're not telling the truth forwards, then the truth will come out when it's played backwards.
Exactly correct. What we're hearing in reverse is the real self, who you really are on the unconscious level.
Now, and you think children speak backwards?
Children are speaking backwards from as early as 4 months of age. They start off with simple single words, and then by the time...
And then why do they go forwards?
Well, that's when the conscious mind starts learning. See, the unconscious mind learns first. The unconscious mind picks up the information first. That is speaking in reverse, and then the conscious mind starts forward speech around about 13 or 14 months.
And how do you know it's not just the laws of probability, that if you play it, like a John Howard speech backwards for long enough, you're going to be able to find something? And
sure. Yeah, well, that's one of the criticisms thrown at the field, but the fact is these reverse phrases are occurring once every 15 or 20 seconds of speech. They're occurring in grammatically correct sentences that relate directly to what's been spoken forwards, and the odds of that happening by pure chance are extremely high, to say the least.
Now, Bob, we're going to be listening now to John Howard speaking about terrorism to have it revealed to us whether he's telling the truth and he's sincere about the threat of terrorism, or he's lying just so he can pass draconian laws.
It has thus far been a quite uncontroversial amendment.
He's there talking about the sedition laws, and let's hear what he says in reverse.
Stop here.
Dark fear. So he is genuinely very concerned about the terrorist threat.
The next thing is John Howard talking about being able to imprison terrorists without charges. An
amendment that effectively substitutes the definite article.
And backwards?
They name innocent. So there is a risk in this legislation of innocent people also being arrested.
Now, this is John Howard talking about the 2002 Bali bombing.
Was its inclusion along with a number of other tourist and cultural locations.
And backwards?
Yeah, looks like this tourist. Yeah, looks like this tourist.
They will fuck the tourists. Now, so he sees future problems coming ahead. Now, bear in mind, this was in 2002, and he's saying more trouble is going to come.
So there were three things you played backwards.
Yep.
The first one,
Stop here.
Howard, he's being sincere. He does have a deep fear of terrorism.
Have a deep fear.
The second one, he's being a bit insincere because he's putting forward this legislation that he knows may name innocent people.
Yeah, looks like this tourist.
And then the third one, he's sincere again.
Yeah, he's being very sincere. In point of fact, I don't think he's being strong enough in the forwards. He should be saying in the forwards, hey, listen, we're going to have more attacks coming.
So he's about 50% honest.
50%, yeah, that would be a fair way to describe that.
Well, why don't we cut out all the forward speak and go straight for the reverse speech?
Oh, well, that would mean a world full of truth. I don't know whether we could handle that.
Well, we gave David Oates audio from an early episode of Speaking in Tongues. And what did you find there? The first one is me?
Yeah, I found two fascinating reversals that gave me some good insight into who you two are.
Ooh, okay, number one is me.
Yeah.
I asked him what my cut was. And what's that backwards?
It says, soul fucked, I'm on fire. And how I would interpret that is you're a man with some spiritual issues and you're driven with a passion to find answers. Fire means passion. And I would say that you are a man who has many questions that you want to have answered about.
There's more in the unconscious here than there is in the conscious, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Bob,
that's right.
We've also played one of yours. Let's hear.
I deny it from the start. Listeners, my friends out there, do not be afraid. We call ourselves where anything goes. Well, then I presume
And backwards?
I
give a new source.
Oh,
That's
so
nice.
Yeah, so he's bringing in something nice
New
and fresh.
something fresh into the thing.
couldn't that mean he's like deviating from the teachings of the Bible? He's bringing in a new source, possibly Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible?
Well, that wasn't the context of the forward dialogue, and we look at the forward dialogue to get the context.
Father Bob, can you either forwards or backwards thank our guest?
Thank you so much for being here,
You're most
David.
welcome.
And if that sounds off air a bit, well, it's not meant to be.
That sounds just fine.
Thank you.
Bob, thank you very much for taking me along as your date to that charity.